Anime sucks. Now, before you click away, just know that I love anime, and I've dedicated an entire channel to analyzing it. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why anime can be very annoying. The first reason is fan service. I'm reminded of the terrible show Fire Force. The plot was chaotic, the characters had no development whatsoever, and the powers made no sense. But one thing was for sure, that show had a lot of fan service. And it wasn't even subtle like some shows are. They blatantly had shots of girls in skimpy clothing, and they focused on that intensely. Even one of the most child-friendly shonen anime, see Fairy Tail, had an unreasonable amount of fan service. I know that some people don't mind it, but it really annoys me when they sacrifice precious screen time for things that don't develop the plot or world building. I couldn't even watch Darling in the Franxx because it barely had any plot, just fan service. Here's my counterpoint. It's okay to draw a woman who is voluptuous. That doesn't make the show inherently based on fan service. But every show utilizes that woman to provide trashy service to the fans. There are some anime with no fan service, i.e. Jujutsu Kaisen, Mob Psycho, Odd Taxi, but you really have to strain to find those anime. The second reason why anime sucks is because of the tropes. After 100 years of anime, there is bound to be some overlapping plots, character traits, and similar settings. I love to see a brand new type of anime like Spy Family. It is far from the status quo, so I think that's why so many people like it. But other shows like Tonikawa Over the Moon try to set up a new story, but they ultimately end up relying on tropes like the tsundere or unsubtle cheap comedy. Here's my counterpoint. The reboot for Urusei Yatsura is still funny even though it has some of those same tropes. So it isn't necessarily a bad thing to have tropes, but relying on them fully is where the show will fail. Also, there are some wacky shows like my sleeper pick for this season, Akiba Maid War, where you just don't know what to expect because it is so very different from any other show you've watched. And lastly, anime subverts your expectations all the time. For example, during the first episode of Millionaire Detective, a guy gets shot straight in the chest and red liquid starts pooling on the ground next to him. But it turns out he just got shot with a paintball gun. Many shows are like this, including Spy Family and Bungo Stray Dogs. They will purposefully show a character getting shot just for shock value. Then they'll retcon the situation in the next scene. That's what I hate about anime. You have a great show that could have some deeper meaning and become legendary, but they throw all of it away for some cheap laughs. Oh yeah, that dude just got shot 31 times, but now he's fully healed and now he's dancing too. That stuff annoys me so much because I think Bungo Stray Dogs could have been a really interesting and weighty show where people gave lives to protect others. But Spy Family is close to that as well, I have to say. That episode where all the kids randomly started singing, that was the worst episode of anime I have seen in a long time. Some shows cannot decide on their tone, and they whiplash between slice of life to dramatic action and then back to a gag show. Anime has always had the loud and unrealistic reactions, but some shows try to span all genres. Spy Family tries to be serious in the fact that Lloyd wants to have every child be able to smile, and Yor, with her own sort of sense of morality, she decides to take the lives of people for the sake of justice. But in the episode just before that one, Yor is scaling full-size buildings like Spider-Man, and the kids are having a fever dream full of singing in the middle of a schoolyard. It's hard to stay within the suspension of disbelief when those elements are wildly different. I want to be able to enjoy the series, but the show doesn't have any grounding in reality. And I think that shows that are really good, that are legendary, they are almost always serious. They can have some laughter and jokes, but the best shows are realistic, not in the technology that they use or the universe that they take place in, but in human stories that are told. A show is legendary because it accurately depicts a fragment of the human experience. Anime can sometimes be the greatest art form, but there are plenty of reasons why it can suck. Fan service, tropes, and subversive expectations can ruin this precious medium of storytelling. Let me know in the comments below about anything that annoys you in anime. I'm also thinking about doing a different kind of video soon, so be looking for that. Until then, this is the Eagle-Eyed Samurai signing off.